impressed with him all week, impressed with the fight, impressed with the aftermath, showing up to the post-fight press conference, speaking about it. I think his stock went up, and I think he has earned the respect of a lot of people who maybe were reluctant for whatever reason to give him that respect. He is kind enough to join us right now on the program. One more time, there he is, the great Ian Machado Garry. And I want to say this to you, Ian, and I said it at the very beginning of the show. This has never happened to me. Doing this show since 2009, so that's 15 years, right? Never happened to me. I've never asked someone to come on the show on fight week, and then, and massive credit to your wife, Layla. I hope you don't mind me bringing this up. And she said, yes, he can do 12:30 Pacific last Monday, and I'm going to go ahead and book him for 12:30 the Monday after the fight. And I thought that was incredible. And no one's ever said that to me before, ever. And that makes my life very easy because I'm the one booking the show. And then when I reached out to her yesterday and I said, hey, I totally understand if you want to take some time off. She said, we said he'd be there and he'll be there. And so I have to give a lot of credit to both you and Layla. Thank you.
Man of my word. I appreciate it. Thank you. When we say something, we do it.
Much respect. So I thought you handled it all perfectly, and we'll talk about the fight. But I'm just wondering, now that it's kind of sunk in and you've been able to marinate over what happened on Saturday, what are the feelings?
It's the more and more I think about it, the more and more it plays in my mind, if that makes sense. But I went in there on short notice against the scariest man in the division, and I made him human. I proved to the world how talented I am against a guy who they thought was unbeatable. And I went out there, and there's no argument in my mind that when that fight finishes, that you can't sit there and say anything else other than I'm the scarier fighter. He didn't beat me anywhere. The significant strikes I won, the grappling exchanges I was winning, I was defending and shutting down everything he was doing. The game plan and everything that I had come up and told my team I wanted to do, it worked. So it's a matter of seconds and 4 to 5 extra shots, and you're talking about 5 rounds in my favor.
Are there moments, are there decisions, are there sequences that you're replaying, that you're lamenting, that you're like, oh man, because it was that close, 48-47, right? Are there decisions, are there moments in the fight that you are fixating on?
No. I'm very proud of the performance I went out and put on. 25 minutes with someone who people didn't want to fight. Everyone in the division was running from him, and I stood up and said, absolutely, let's go. I know I can beat you. I know I'm good enough to go out there and beat anyone on any given day. And I proved that it was that close, razor thin. So I feel like the biggest thing for me is that takedown in the 4th round. Had he not secured that takedown in the 4th round, I believe I win 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, because everyone thought you won 3 and 5. Obviously, 5 was the easiest one to score. He was 2 for 10 as far as takedowns were concerned. Yes. That has to be a huge point of pride.
Yeah, Owen, I've told everyone this, Ariel. I'm phenomenally talented in every single aspect. And I said it to you like last week. When I come up against opponents that are of a better level and that excite me, it brings the most out of it. It brings the best version of me, because I have to show up and I have to be on form against someone like a Shavkat, or else he will run through you. If you do not come in ready, prepared, that guy can run through you. But he didn't, and he couldn't. I shut down all of his success, and I nearly had him out. I was that close to putting him asleep and breaking his fucking jaw. It'll make me better. I'll be better for this.
What could you have done to secure that?
Honestly, that's the question. Go back now, speak to Charles, speak to Damien, speak to the boys, draw it up, redo it, and basically just sit down and go, I'm going to finish every single person I ever fight from now on with a rear naked choke. I'm done. I need to just be taking people's backs and choking them unconscious now to fill that ego inside me now. That's had that basically, that photo should have been it. It should have been done. So that's on me to go back and evolve and learn and grow.
When I say your stock went up despite the loss, and I feel like the community has given you the respect that I don't know if you were searching for, whatever, but maybe was eluding you. Do you agree with both of those points?
I definitely hear and see and feel a lot of love and a lot of respect. Um, I'm very grateful to a lot of the fans, especially the Kazakhstan fans. They've been amazing.
Wow.
They understand that I took this fight in short notice, that I essentially stepped up when people weren't willing to step in. And I did it. And I put on a fight that got them worried, got them scared, and against their biggest star. So I'm very grateful to them, and I'm very grateful to everyone who sees the true ability that I possess, sees how great I am and how close I was to winning that fight. And I said it the other day on my Instagram. It further affirms to me that I am absolutely going to be the champion of the world. It is just a matter of time.
More to that point, we put up a poll earlier. 80% of the fans that we asked believe that you will fight for a UFC title next year, and 90% say that they now believe in you as a top-tier fighter and maybe have changed their minds after this performance. And so last week you were incredibly confident. You were fired up. I thought that was the best interview that we've ever done. It was great stuff. But sometimes fighters do that to try to psych themselves up and to try to put on a show. I'm not suggesting that I felt that way, because I didn't. But I'm just wondering, were you as confident as you seemed, or was that part of the process as well?
I've been gifted by God talents that other people cannot understand, a mentality that people cannot comprehend, because I am simply gifted. When I stood in that octagon on Saturday night, I knew and believed that I could go out there and beat that man. And I gave it a pretty good go. Do you know what I mean? Everything I did, there wasn't anything in that fight that shocked nor surprised me. I told you I respect him in every asset of the game. He's a great striker. He's awkward. He's got great grappling. And I believed he was going to try and take me down. Leading into the fight, everyone was talking about how he choked me in training, yada, yada, yada. Well, who looked like he was going to finish the fight on Saturday night? It wasn't him. It was only me. I jumped on 3 submissions. I tried to wrap up all 3 of them. He defended well. Great job. When we got back to the feet, I was winning. He had big shots. Fair play. It's a fight. I'd hope that one of the best fighters in the division would be able to have success against me. So the confidence isn't rattled. It's not going anywhere. I know how talented I am. I know how young I am, and I know how skillful I will and am. I will be and am right now. It's just a matter of tiny, minuscule tweaks in a game of inches to go out there and get that finish, get that win, and get the belt. So I have no doubt in my mind that next year I will get that belt. No doubt whatsoever. Just have to evolve and grow.
How familiar was he out there? Was this the same guy that you trained with?
No, it was up. The pace was up. I think you can tell that from both of us. He came out a bit more venomous. I came out a bit more cautious. I believed he was going to be the aggressor in the first round anyway. And yeah, I think we both gave each other a lot of respect in the first 2 rounds. And yeah, I keep saying this to my wife, but if we fight today 5 rounds, I believe I win. That's how fast I learn. It's how fast I grow and evolve. And at the end of the 5 rounds, he was bollocks. He was breathing out of his arse. He looked broken. I didn't. So yeah, I feel like if you put me and him in that octagon today, I'll win. And that's okay. I may not have got my hand raised on Saturday night. I may not have won the fight, but I'm not broken. My spirit is not, I do not remotely feel like in my heart or soul that I've lost. I feel like I've only proven to myself and the entire planet that I am absolutely one of the greatest fighters in this division. And it's a matter of time until that belt is mine.
Report came out afterwards, I believe, by Daniel Cormier, saying that he fought with a torn MCL. Have you seen this, and what do you make of it?
I've seen it. I don't know how true it is, but at the end of the day, Ariel, you know this, and you know how true this is. It's very, very rare that fighters go into a fight with no injuries or no niggles. The training we do is ridiculously intense. It's very tiring on the body and can exhaust the body at times, and injuries occur. You know what I mean? If if he has injuries, you keep them private. You don't need to talk about. He doesn't need to bring them up, or they don't need to be exposed. I had some. It's not the end of the world. I'm not going to sit here and tell people I had them. When I signed that contract and I stepped up and was willing to go in there, I was willing to go in there, live and die by the sword, go in there and prove it. It doesn't matter about injuries. You step into the octagon, there's nothing that you can use for excuses as to why you didn't perform the way you did, or why you may not have won, or why you lost, whatever it is. I feel like that's, to me, it's not classy. You went in there, you stood up in there, you signed the contract, you stood on the scales, you went in and you fought. That's it. And congratulations, he won. I don't believe that's Shavkat saying that he had an injury, but what I mean is the injury, he knew what he was doing. Does that make sense?
Did I hear this correctly in the post-fight presser? Did you punch yourself in the face and that's where the cut came from? What happened? Why'd you punch yourself?
So this is my world title fight in Cage Warriors. I got this cut, and it healed up perfectly over the years. Still a little bit of scar tissue there. So I was in a position, same position Shavkat was in. He had the underhook. I was defending. I put my head in between my opponent's neck, and I decided I was going to throw a dirty knuckle shot. He was wearing a head guard, and I just cracked myself straight in the face.
Wow.
I was just livid. Sat there afterwards. I had my team with me. My wife was like to me, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I just punched myself in the face." And this is the stuff that can cost fights. You know what I mean? So at that moment, I was livid. But yes, that is the truth. I did punch myself in the face.
Okay, so I'm happy you mentioned that, because last week when we were showing the photos of you with the T-shirt, I noticed that you had like something under your eye. We were talking about it before the show, and I'm like, does he have a black eye or does he have a cut there? And I wasn't sure if it was like the shadows or whatever. So
that was a cut.
Oh my gosh, that is something. By the way,
it happened.
No, I know.
I got another one in Thailand. I got a knuckle above the eyebrow. I was fighting an Uzbekistan guy who was phenomenally talented, and he caught me with a little choppy right hook with a knuckle. That got cut open. So this stuff happens, Ariel. I said it 5 minutes ago. The fight game is ruthless. We train hard. We fight hard. So when you pick up little bumps, bruises, niggles, if you step into the octagon, you're ready to go and prepared for everything and anything that can come your way.
My understanding was it was your decision to go talk to the press. Usually, co-main event, the fight doesn't go your way, they let you leave. Why did you do that?
Because I believe in victory or defeat. My voice is powerful. My voice deserves to be heard. My opinion on my side of the fight is important for my friends, my family, my supporters, anyone who is cheering for me. I believe it's important. I believe it deserves just as much respect as the win does, especially when I said it. I saved this card. I jumped in on short notice to fight the boogeyman, and I brought him all 5 rounds. I believe my voice deserves to be heard.
Afterwards, like I said, there's a lot of talk about him versus you, and you said that you'll fight him. I think you said not twice, but 3 times by the time it's all said and done, right? Which is a great treat, and we hope to see it. I'm just wondering about, it got a little tense there as the week, progressed, the face-offs. Maybe we weren't expecting that intensity. I mean, you're fighting with massive stakes attached. I'm wondering if on your side of things, the talk of tapping you out and all that stuff, did that up things? Did that bother you? Did that annoy you?
No.
Okay.
No, it didn't annoy me at all. I have nothing but respect for Shavkat and his team. I have nothing but respect for him as an athlete. From everything we've done in training together, we may not have gone hard, but I had nothing but respect for the guy. I feel like this week we kind of explained it. Like, I felt like he was a bit of a wounded dog. Like, they're dangerous. They're more dangerous. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I felt an energy of it. What, like, on the night of the press conference, he did that weird snake charmy shit where he was moving his head, and I felt like he was trying to play a game. And I've not seen Shavkat like that before in my life. And then on fight night, on the ceremonial weigh-ins, I said, we're good. We're not going to hit each other. And he started pushing his forehead against mine. Now, I don't care who you are in the world. If you're going to push me backwards, I'm going to meet you with force forwards. And that's what happened. He tried to out-alpha me. I gave him a little bit back. I said, don't come fucking at me with nothing. I'll bring everything back at you 100%. And I proved that in the fight. I'm not just here to be pushed around or walked over. I'm going to fight for every single bit of your respect, and you're going to respect me, and you're going to understand how talented I am. So the chit chat before the fight, there's none of that bothered me. I was ready to go in here and put everything on the line, and I did. And I proved how talented I am, and I proved that I can hang with the very best in the world and beat them.
First time since your amateur days that your hand doesn't get raised. That feeling, how does it sit with you?
I said this to my team afterwards, and I still feel this now, and it's a weird feeling. But obviously, being undefeated for so long and having that over your head, I never once thought a loss would feel as good as it does. And what I mean by that is I don't feel like I lost. I don't feel like I left that fight with the same energy of, I feel like I went out there and I did everything I possibly could to go out there and beat that man in those moments. And I fought smart. I fought hard. I proved how talented I am. I proved how intelligent I am. I shut all of his success down. I believe I was the better fighter on the night. If anything, I believe he got tired. He was just trying to hold on. I could feel he was tired in the last round. You know, I was the one pushing him. I was the one causing the issues. So I don't feel like it's a loss to a certain extent. My hand may not have got raised, but I don't feel like I've lost. It's hard to word because obviously I did not win. But I guess my spirit is not broken. My heart nor spirit does not feel like I still feel like I'm slightly victorious in this motion. I made a man who everyone spoke about so highly and had so much respect for and so much hype around. I made him human, and I went in there and I brought the fight to him in every single element of the game. So I'm very proud of myself, and as I said, I know now more than ever that I'm definitely going to be a champion.
Now that you've been in there with him in an actual fight, can I just get your thoughts on him versus Bilal? How do you think that goes?
I got him tired very easily. And the truth is I was only really defending. The only things that made him tired was I was just defending his takedowns over and over and over again. In the striking element, he wasn't flashy, super fast. So I feel like, I thought Shavkat was going to beat Bilal in the first case. I feel like definitely Bilal is going to benefit from having 25 minutes of footage to watch. And I feel like Bilal can definitely go out there and get the win, as can Shavkat, because the more aggressive you are against someone like Shavkat, the more holes you could possibly open up for him to finish you. So I'm still massively intrigued by that fight. And, I believe I'm going to be fighting probably the loser of that fight next, because I believe I'm one fight away from a world title fight again still. It's just one step backwards.
Couldn't agree more. We said that at the top of the show as well. And so I'm wondering, you just said that, okay, fighting the loser, who knows when they fight, maybe May or so, and then, the loser would then have several months. There's a couple of names that come to mind, and maybe we could squash it or we could put any sort of, validity to it. Seems like a lot of people were saying you versus Leon in London. Is that of any interest on March 22nd, or is that too soon?
I have zero interest in fighting in London. I've said that from day one. If the UFC want me to fight in Europe, they're going to bring me back to Dublin, Ireland. I'm not fighting anywhere else other than that. I've said that from day one. I'm not taking any exceptions, no ifs, ands, or buts. You put me in Ireland and that's it. But also, I have no want to fight until summer of next year. I believe the biggest lesson I can take away from this fight against Shavkat is there's just a few little minor details that I need to clean up and refresh with my team. And they deserve the time and focus and energy to learn, grow, and evolve. so that when I step into that octagon next year, and let's call it International Fight Week, and I fight 3 times next year. I fight June, July, I fight September, and I fight December. I'm going out there and I'm giving me the best version of me. I deserve the time now to focus and be the best Ian Machado Garry I possibly can be. That fight shows me so much that I can improve on and learn from and go forward to finish everybody with. And I'm super excited by that. And I have no want nor need to fight now until I feel like I've accessed the level I deserve to reach now after that fight.
That is fair. And just to be clear on the London thing, is it something about London in particular, or you don't want to fight anywhere in Europe if it's not Ireland?
I don't want to fight anywhere in Europe unless it's Dublin, Ireland. Ireland has been starved of a UFC event for so long. I have been flying the flag for Irish MMA since I joined the UFC. I have been the next coming of the second wave of Irish MMA. I have been leading that front, and I do not believe it's fair for Ireland to not get another event. And I'm not going to fight anywhere else in Europe unless the UFC come back to Dublin, Ireland. That's what they deserve. That's what we've earned. And the fans and the Irish fan base of MMA deserve that fire lit under its arse again. So if it's going to be anywhere that I'm fighting in Europe, it's going to be my hometown, because that's what I've done. I've earned that right now to bring the UFC back. And I'm not going to fight anywhere. I live in London. I live south of London. I live in Surrey. I'm not fighting in London because I don't want to. It's because that's what's right.
Fair. And so just curious, if it is June or so, and let's say the title fight is in May, let's just say I'm just picking a time frame.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who does make sense for you in that one fight before another crack, potentially?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't mind. I mean, there's only a couple of people it can be. And as always, I've shown that I'm not afraid to fight anybody. I will step in there with anyone, and I will go in there and I'll do the best I can to beat people. That's always what I've done. I've put on a show. I've shown how talented I am. So when I'm ready to compete next, I don't care who's across that octagon from me. I'm getting my hand raised, and I'm going to go get that belt. I know it now more than ever. So I'm excited.
Is it maybe Colby or Joaquin who are fighting in 5 days?
Listen, I believe Joaquin's going to win that fight. But even if Colby wins, there's no realm where he's stepping in the octagon with me, Ariel. I think we know that. I think he is not the man he tries to tell the world he is. Joaquin, I think, will step into that fight with me. I think he would want to fight me after this fight. It would obviously get him one step closer to a belt. So it makes sense. But the truth is, let's see how the rest of the division plays out. Let's see, while I'm practicing and evolving my skills, what happens. Let's see who's ready to go. Do you know what I mean? Let's see how the lay of the land lies, because once I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. I still want 3 fights next year. Just because I'm willing to take a little bit more time for myself to evolve and grow doesn't mean I don't want to be active. I will fight June, July. I will fight September, and I'll fight December. I will fight 3 times next year, and I will win that belt, and I will prove that I'm the best in the world. So there's going to be 3 of the top 5 people in the world I'm fighting next year, and I'm going to beat all 3 of them. So it doesn't matter what order or who.
I do have to ask, last week when we spoke, you did have some choice words about Kamaru Usman, and he has since responded on his podcast. I don't know if you saw his...
I haven't heard this. What has he said?
Okay,
be the bearer of news.
There was a bunch of stuff, but in short, I'll paraphrase. Who are you? Who are you that I, of all people, are scared of you? Who are you? I guess he was upset because he wanted me to be his late notice replacement for his fight. Who the fuck is that guy for me to be a late replacement for? What? No. And there's more there, but that's kind of the general sentiment. Your thoughts?
How do you feel looking at that? What do you think?
I mean, he's not talking about me, so I'd rather ask you.
Go on, I want to know, but I want to know from your point. What do you think that says?
He later said, I'll answer the question. I'm not deflecting.
No, I know you're not. I don't want to put you on.
No, not at all. Listen, he doesn't come on my show anyway, so it's not like I can offend him. His manager won't let him. His daddy won't let him. Like I said, the biggest thing for me, I just need to get healthy. It doesn't matter who it is. Once I'm healthy and I feel that I'm healthy to get back in there and do what I do, I don't care. You could bring King Kong and King Kong's brothers. If they make 170, we get it on, so it is what it is.
I don't believe it. I really don't. I believe Usman is very, very selective with the way he match makes. I believe he's going to be very cautious in his choosing of who he wants to fight, because he is well aware the relevancy that he has with his ranking right now, and one loss plummets him down. So I believe he's going to be very cautious, very sacred, and very careful. I do not believe he wants to step into the octagon with me in any way, shape, nor form. I said it last week and I'll say it again. He's got a big chest and it looks good, but where it matters, he's slacking. So he hasn't got the balls to step in there against these young, up-and-coming contenders. He just wants to maintain relevancy and hold that ranking, and doesn't want to do anything to compete to it. And I feel like there needs to be a change in the rule set with people like him and Colby, who are keeping the division static and not willing to do anything. I mean, it's ridiculous, but it should be you have one choice. You fight this guy or you don't fight at all. It shouldn't be a case of, oh, well, we have options. No, we want you to fight X. You either fight or you don't fight. So I don't know any way to make it more obvious, but Kamaru Usman, in my mind, is a little bitch. And I don't think he'll ever step into the octagon with me, ever.
Well, I did see a lot of vets showing you some praise and love. Chael Sonnen, Israel Adesanya, Bilal Muhammad, even Darren Till, who doesn't give out praise easily, was showing you love as well. Very cool, I must say, to see Charles Oliveira come over and corner you. Was that something that happened like last minute, spur of the moment, or did you know?
No, I knew he was going to be there. So when the fight was brought to me, I obviously said yes. I then called my team the next day and said, look, here's what's happening. Here's what we're doing. I obviously rang. So it was getting done in New York. So on Charles's fight week. So what I didn't want was for me to be behind the scenes talking to the UFC, and then it get announced that my team's on a fight weekend. What? We didn't know about this. So I quickly rang Diego Lima and said, look, here's what's happening. I'm saying yes to this fight. And he said, great, I love this fight. It's amazing. I love it. Charles, when he found out about the fight, he told the UFC that he wanted to be there. He said, I don't care how you do it. Make me be a guest fighter. Give me some work to do. He said, but I want to be there. I said to Diego, I said, I want you and I want Charles in my corner. And Charles was like, it'd be an honor, it'd be a pleasure. You know, I'm a massive fan of that team and what they bring to this world in the fight game, and the energy they have and possess is special, and it's different. And I'm very grateful to call myself a part of the Shoot the Box family. So to have those two boys in my corner, it was an honor and a pleasure. And I'm excited to get back to Brazil next year and learn from them. So yeah, it's going to be really cool.
Lastly, it was all great, I thought. Everything. Fight week, the fight, the post-fight. Perhaps the one blunder, if you will, were those dastardly purple shorts, which I still don't quite understand what happened there. All of a sudden, I don't know if I was not looking in the right spot, but all of a sudden I see you changing mid-round. Do you have any idea now what happened? Because even in the post-fight press conference, it seemed like you weren't quite sure what was going on.
From watching it back, so Ariel, look, I've watched this fight back 6 times since the fight, right? I've gone over it. I've assessed it. It looks like it's on this scramble when I quickly turn against the octagon, and it just somehow lacerated. And that is what it is. But when they sat me down on the stool, I seen them come with a spare pair of shorts. It's like, I got so sick with them on the spot. I was like, what you mean they're ripped? Where? Show me. And then they were like, right, hurry up. I was like, I'm not fucking rushing. You wait.
Yeah.
Your shorts ripped. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to take my time here. I'm not rushing to go out here and fight this man rushed. I'll take my time. I'll do it. And then I'll go out and I'll beat this man. So yeah, there's always the first for everything. You know, me and Shavkat made history this week. The most undefeated records combined going up against each other in UFC history. The first time we've seen his shorts ripped. It's one of those things of, it was a great fight night. It was a great experience for me. I'm very happy with the performance, but I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied, and I'm going to work like a dog. I'm going to prove to myself, to my fans, to everyone how good I am, and the next fight I'm in is going to be even better.
And that's the moment, and I think that's the moment that we replay when something great happens to you next year. It reminds me a little bit of GSP and Hughes. The first time they fought, he knew, And then and then he came right back.
My wife yesterday. I said, "This is my GSP moment."
There it is. There it is. So well done. Well done on a great week, a great fight, a great aftermath. Thank you for staying true to your word here and showing up on this Monday. A real pleasure and honor. Enjoy the holiday season with the family. Enjoy everything you've done this year, and we look forward to seeing you back in there in 2025.
I appreciate it. I look forward to it too.
Thank you, Ian. There he is, the great Ian Machado Garry. What a performance. Thanks for watching this video. Hey, before you go, do me a favor, hit that sub button, give us a thumbs up, hit the little bell thingy as well. Leave us a nice comment or two. We appreciate you all very much.